Hi, my name is Anna Jerbseth, and I'm here today to talk to you about anti-bullying. So, I'm a Girl Scout Gold Award, and for my project, I did an anti-bullying seminar with 3 different schools. At the first school I went to, I had 3 weeks with them, 1 day a week, and they were all very tentative. They had very difficult home lives and came from difficult situations and crowded families, and so really school and bullying wasn't really their main issue. They focused more on how do I get my brother to stop teasing me? How do I do this in the family situations? The second school I went to, I got to talk to all of the kids who were being bullied, actively being bullied every day after school, during school, between classes, and I talked to them about how to prevent it for themselves, how to intervene themselves into different situations, and how to try and control a situation where they feel like they don't have any power, and how to gain back that power. The third school I went to, I got to talk to the bullies themselves. These kids were proud to make other people cry. They would egg each other on until the person they were bullying would just crack. And I saw it, I witnessed it. There was one kid they didn't like in their class, and they just bullied him to the point of absolution. He just could not come back from it, and he didn't have the social skills to break free of it. It was horrible. I'm here to persuade you today that bullying is a situation that we need to talk about in schools more than ever at this point. I mean, kids haven't been in schools for a while at the moment, but when they get back, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a big transition, and nobody is going to be able to deal with it well. First, I'm going to tell you about the problems and then some actions we can take and the future if we do or don't address this problem. So, the first problem is that bullying is seen as a part of life, which it should not be. It shouldn't be just a given that you're going to feel terrible about yourself every day when you go to school. The Australian government of January 14 said that bullying, alongside other forms of maltreatment at home, can correlate with high trauma responses in children who have been traumatized in these ways, and that is how they relate to people, is through traumatic experiences. In April 29th of 2015, the New York Daily Times says that 20% of children they talk to have mental illness issues, and that includes the bullies. They have depression and are at risk of hurting themselves. Again, this is not something that should be normal. A child hurting themselves on purpose for attention, we should just give them the attention. Why do they need to do all of these crazy things and jump through hoops so that they can feel loved and welcome? I don't know. Well, our second problem is that bullying has long-term effects. In April 29th of 2015, The Conversation, a magazine article, says that bullying follows a person into adulthood, and many adults who were bullied still suffer from social anxiety. Does that sound familiar? Absolutely. It is, if most people have social anxiety, 20% of the children they talk to have mental illness, and then we go into adulthood. What does that mean for our society as a whole? 20% of us just can't talk to people because we're scared that they're going to hurt us? That's not a great way for us to be living, is it? No, not really. So there are a few actions we can take. The UN News of November 5th, 2020 suggests that we should create channels in which we can tell trusted adults what is going on in the situations they are in. It is somewhat a good solution. I mean, if a kid feels comfortable talking to an adult about this, then they should, and they probably will. But this is a responsive action. It's not a preventative one. And we want to prevent people from ever feeling like they need to do silly things to get attention, because we should just give them attention. So my second action to prevent bullying is by teaching them the signs of what a bullying looks like. The Conversation, again, of April 29, 2015, says that We need to teach kids and see the signs of bullying not only in other people, but in themselves. As a bully myself when I was a child, I did not know that I was hurting other people's feelings until somebody told me. They had to tell me and tell me that they were hurting and that I had hurt them. Otherwise, I would not have understood. I don't understand other people's hurt sometimes, and that doesn't make me a psychopath. It makes me human to not know what's going on in someone else's brain. If we just talk about it more, if we vocalize pain and hurt and things like that, then it will be easier to prevent bullying because we will all understand the reasons why we all are suffering. The other thing that I think works really well is, this is what I did with my third class, was I gave them adults. I took all the adults that they liked and worshipped, and I told them that those adults had been bullied, and that if they hadn't gotten over that bullying, then they wouldn't be here today. I have some crazy stories about the adults and the way they've been treated, and it breaks my heart. And they only listened to the adults that they knew and trusted and loved. They listened to me because I was young and older than them. We don't listen to the principal. We won't listen if it's just somebody standing on a stage. They need to come down and be in smaller groups and understand that bullying is not something we can just eliminate. It's something that is part of some people's everyday lives, and that sucks. Okay, so we've looked at the problems and some solutions, and now let's look at what will happen if we don't address it. Well, of course, it will just keep going. Wall Street Journal of April 2nd, 2020 says that parents are just fussing over bullying because there's nothing better going on. No, they're giving their children attention because their child is feeling terrible inside, and it's not the parents' fault that this is happening. It's other kids being mean. We should just make mean the new awful. We watch all these movies about mean girls getting what they deserve. Why don't they get what they deserve in real life? To be publicly shamed for being mean to someone else. Make it not the victim's problem, but the bully's problem. If we look at a situation and one kid is being bullied and the other one, the bullier, if we tell the bullier that that's not okay and that we don't accept that in this kind of society and that this is not the place for that nor the time, and if you want to be a gossip, you need to leave. All of a sudden, it's not the victim's fault. It's the bully's fault. And if the bully needs more attention, they can go see the counselor and figure out what they need to figure out. Because if the bully is still hurting after bullying someone else, it's not going to fix their heart. It's not how that works. You can't fix your heart by being mean to someone else. Something that most kids don't understand. But if we do take action, if we prevent bullying before it happens, before we feel shamed about who we are, then we can see a rise of mental health. And taking care of yourself in the right way and taking care of other people and the people you love makes it so much easier to not be bullied. We need kids to understand this, and we need to understand this ourselves. So we've looked at the problem, the solution, and what will happen. Now what can you do? If a kid comes to you and they trust you to confide in about bullying, go to their parents and tell them, make sure that they know, and then the school can hopefully get involved. But if you yourself are being bullied, if you somehow are a child and you're seeing this, stand up. Don't take it. That's not acceptable. We don't do that here. It's rude, it's not polite, and we don't like it. Even if the person is popular. What do you got to lose? Standing up to a bully can be great. Very freeing.